Good afternoon and welcome to this Tuesday, December 1st edition of Westman Newsline. I'm Chris Taran alongside Branton Clark and Brent Harder. In today's news, a Verdun man has been sentenced to prison after pleading guilty on multiple charges including sexual assault. And on a brighter note, the Christmas season is here and the Christmas Cheerboard would appreciate your help. As well, Branton will be in with sports. Branton, I understand the Crocus Plains girls varsity volleyball team had reason to celebrate last night.
You'd be right, Chris. The Plainsmen won 3-1 in the varsity 4A volleyball provincial championship last night in Winnipeg. I'll have that story and more coming up in sports.
Thanks, Branton. And Brent will be in with weather. Brent, it's a new month and wow, are we ever seeing some different weather?
Well, Chris, it was certainly a November to remember, but as for December, well, let's just say that Old Man Winter is making up for lost time. The Brandon area received its first major snowfall of the year last night, making things pretty white in most places, but downright messy along some major roadways. A total of about 6 centimeters fell overnight, and we're expecting another 4 over the next while. Currently in Brandon, it's still snowing in -1. The winds are out of the north at 7, and the relative humidity is 100%. I'll bring you your full weather picture in a bit, but for now, Chris, back to you.
Thanks, Brent. A man charged with raping a 14-year-old girl was sentenced in Brandon court yesterday afternoon. Stephen M. Martins, formerly of Verdun, was given a 3-year prison term after pleading guilty to sexual assault and supplying liquor to a minor, as well as break and enter, car theft, weapons charges, and conspiracy to commit robbery for an unrelated crime spree. Martins was charged in April of 2008 after taking the 14-year-old to a rural motel, supplying her with the liquor, and later raping her after she had passed out. He dropped the girl off at a friend's house where she told her mother what had happened. Martins was given 10.5 months credit for his pre-sentence custody. Police are searching for the person responsible for calling in a bomb threat to Vincent Massey High School yesterday morning. The Brandon Police Service received the call at approximately 8:30 a.m. and quickly evacuated the staff and students from the building. They were housed in McDermott Drive Alliance Church across the street for about an hour and a half. Police swept the school looking for any suspicious packages and came up empty-handed, deeming the threat a false claim. Students and staff were allowed to return to classes at around 10 o'clock, and Police and School Division Superintendent Donna Michaels were very pleased by everyone's response to the situation. The anonymous phone call was traced to a payphone, and police are seeking the public's help in identifying the culprit. If you or anyone you know has any information on this matter, please call the Brandon Police Service at 729-2345. The Christmas Cheerboard is back in seasonal action, preparing food and gift hampers for those in need around the region. About 400 families have already applied for assistance, and the registry is expecting about 1,000 hampers to be required in Brandon alone. That number is up from last year's 870. Donations from community members and local businesses have started to come in slowly but steadily, and the Cheerboard is hoping things will pick up in the next week. Last year, between the Christmas Cheerboard hampers and the Salvation Army's Adopt a Family program, 1,962 families were given the gift of a Christmas hamper. If you're interested in donating to the Christmas Cheerboard or volunteering your time assembling hampers, the registry is located at 1328 Rosser Avenue. A new place of honor will give Assiniboine Community College's brightest students some well-deserved acclaim. Charles Tweed has more in this report.
Assiniboine Community College, in partnership with Skills Manitoba, unveiled their Wall of Fame yesterday at the college. Damon Roth, manager of Team Assiniboine, highlighted some of the hard work and contributions the students have made and believes the program is an important one.
Today, they're known as vibrant parts of the economy, very important parts of our economy. At the time, though, it was one of the main focus was to help bring those trades into the spotlight, and we think it's done that quite exceptionally now.
ACC students have stepped to the forefront in trades and technologies, not just provincially but nationally. Jacqueline Higgins recently won a national gold medal in Prince Edward Island.
I competed in IT software applications, so it was data processing, presentation graphics, spreadsheets, and databases.
From their humble beginnings in 2001, ACC students have competed and won various awards. The new Wall of Fame will not only honor this year's 23 winners, but the 76 that came before. For Westman Newsline, I'm Charles Tweed.
A perfect bird's eye view of Westman Place could be yours for the price of $30,000, that is. 5 of the 7 luxury boxes in the Keystone Center's main area are up for lease. These newly built seating areas are part of the multi-million-dollar renovations to the Keystone in preparation for 2010's Memorial Cup. The Wheat Kings organization paid for and owns 2 of the suites. It has chosen to keep one and sell the other. The 5 remaining boxes are available for lease to the general public. There's already a list of 30 potential purchasers from the business community. Rental of a luxury box comes with 20 Wheat Kings season tickets, but for other events at Westman Place, the box owner must purchase tickets to be entitled to attend. A tour of the suites for interested groups will be held prior to tomorrow night's Wheat Kings game. The Wheat Kings organization hopes the luxury boxes will be ready for use by January. Economic uncertainty may be taking its toll on larger companies, but it doesn't seem to be a worry for new business in one area in town. Westman Newsline has more on this report.
During a time when the economy isn't doing so well, you'd think the small businesses would be at a standstill. Well, that isn't the case in Minnedosa. In the last 6 months, 4 new businesses have opened or began the stages of opening. A new restaurant, 2 stores, and the beginnings of a pool hall are the newest additions to Main Street. Wyon Baribeau, the owner of the future pool hall, remembers when businesses weren't exactly booming in the small town.
When I first moved here 2 years ago, there was vacant buildings all over Main Street, and now I think this was the last one. There may be one more down the street, and I think it just shows people that it's a growing community.
Baribeau is just one of the new entrepreneurs in Minnedosa. Jake Wiebe has also recently opened a video store. While there are 2 other businesses that also carry movies in town, Wiebe is the only dedicated video store. He feels that his business will bring in more customers from out of town.
I opened my specific business in Minnedosa. There's about 3,000 people, and surrounding areas give us, another 3,000 or 4,000 people, so it isn't so small anymore.
Minnedosa is a growing community, and the expansion of the downtown will only help the rural community in the end. There doesn't seem to be any economic crisis in this small town. For Westman Newsline with photographer Shiloh Baribeau, I'm Jessica Glasgow.
And with that, let's take a look at where today's money markets are currently sitting.
For all your local news, weather, and sports coverage, watch Westman Newsline. Broadcasting from Assiniboine Community College on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 1 o'clock.
Premier Greg Selinger is defending the government's plans to spend more on core programs than it takes in this year. Selinger says the spending will stimulate the economy, but opposition parties are panning that Manitoba government's throne speech. Tory leader Hugh McFadden says the speech offers no ideas to help the economy or fight crime. The Liberals say the throne speech contains mostly recycled announcements from previous years. In the throne speech yesterday, the NDP government promised tax credits to help offset the cost of fertility treatments. As well, there will be a tax credit for adult sport programs, similar to an existing credit for kids' sports. And Selinger also promised to extend the province's tuition rebate on income taxes. Several justice measures were also included in yesterday's throne speech. The city of Winnipeg will receive help to get a police helicopter. As well, new laws were proposed to ban gangs from owning armored vehicles and from setting up businesses as fronts for gang activity. The government also plans to increase fines under workplace health and safety laws. 2 separate hunting accidents in central Alberta have left a man dead and a woman wounded. Mounties say a 55-year-old man was shot and killed after being mistaken for a deer while hunting with 3 companions Sunday in a heavily wooded field northwest of Bentley. Charges are pending. And yesterday, a 49-year-old woman was sitting in a chair in an upstairs room of her home northeast of Eckville when a bullet shot through the wall and hit her in the leg. A 34-year-old man from Airdrie faces charges. A manhunt is over in the Seattle area. A sheriff's spokesman says Seattle police have fatally shot a man suspected of gunning down 4 police officers on Sunday. Police say Maurice Clemens was shot and killed in an armed confrontation with a single officer earlier today in a Seattle neighborhood. Officers also say they've arrested 3 people believed to have helped Clemens, including a suspected getaway driver. And that's all for news, but stay tuned. Brent's up next with Newsline Weather.